Here we go. It's another Sunday in the world, and we're here to share our sales, our hauls, our highlights, our faces. That face. Check it out. Sunday Live Haul. You like it?
No.
No? Ugh.
I have yet to like
all
one.
the time.
I have yet to like one of these songs.
I don't even understand how that's possible. You're so rude. You're so judgmental.
I am.
Always criticizing.
Yes, I'm all of these things. Oh, Canada has arrived, Red Hill Vintage says.
Oh, yeah. Whoop, whoop.
Nate, hello, Ewans.
What is happening, everybody?
Lots of Floridians in the house today.
Oh, Floridians.
Yeah, there's like 6 or 8 people that are from Florida that are popping in
6
the
or
chat.
8, maybe 12. I don't know.
Something. Hello, everyone.
What is happening in Rhode Island in the house? We got Carol in there. Whoop, whoop. Connecticut girl. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, exactly, Dana. Judgy McJudgerton. Come on.
That's me.
By the way, I was just talking to Dana through a Facebook post about potential new version of the No Pants Friday song.
I saw.
Just so you know.
I saw the comment.
You're wondering. Mm-hmm.
I saw the comment about typo negative and Peter Steele.
But like, how weird is that? But I was literally thinking how like, oh, we need a new song for the No Pants Friday After Dark show. Mm-hmm. And I had thought to myself, oh, a typo negative version would be cool. And then I was forcing her to watch, Vikki to watch the original Nosferatu from 1922, the black and white silent film. There's a version of it that has typo negative music as like it's not really a score because it's like actual songs and everything. So it's like a soundtrack that I used to watch back in the day. So I was forcing her to watch it on YouTube, and she was like, "Have we watched enough of this yet?"
Because I was just listening to it, and have
we watched enough of this yet? Which, by the way, guys, oh, so rude. By the way, guys, she's like all playing on her tablet. It's not like she's like actually watching anything. So in my mind, and I know I know she at least moderately likes Typo Negative.
I do.
The band. So I was like, what's the problem, biatch? Huh? So rude. So rude. Anyway. Oh yeah. So Connecticut girl just said cool Skittles hat. So Vikki, you just went
I went sourcing this morning. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I hadn't gone all week. I didn't go with Katy on Thursday, and I had only picked up something on Sunday from my new favorite neighbor or across town that is selling the contents of her garage. So I'd only picked up one little box of items all week. So I needed to have more things of interest to show in the show today.
Of interest.
So I went sourcing today. And you know what? People are always like, oh, everything's always picked over. It's so picked over. There was a sale yesterday, blah, blah, blah. You know what? I went to the biggest savers that we have here in town, the one on Tropicana. It's usually my favorite one just because of the size. There's more stuff. Mm-hmm. And the place was packed, and it was packed with other resellers. As a matter of fact, I met another reseller. It happens pretty much weekly now. Every time I go to a Savers or Katy goes to a Savers, someone will come up to us and talk to us that watches the show local. And it may not be anybody that I've met before, but it's literally been, the past 5 or 6 times we've gone out, someone has come up to us that actually watches the show, which is really flattering.
It's awesome.
So I met this nice guy today. I'm sorry if you're watching, I forgot your name, but he was with his daughter, his teenage daughter, who has started selling, just opened her own account. And she likes to sell the same kind of things as Katy. So I was telling her which shows to watch to catch some of Katy's stuff. But anyway, there's always something to find. That's exactly what Laura's saying. Thrifty Adventures. There's always something to find. I filled an entire cart with stuff. Yesterday was National Thrift Store Day, and our savers only had their normal 99-cent t-shirt sale. I don't usually go for that because that is like, not worth the fighting the masses for 99-cent t-shirts.
I can't handle the crowds.
But, they don't stock on Sundays. And I found a cart full of things, and I don't think a single thing is going to sell for less than $40 or $50. I
mean, it does help that you don't limit yourself and you are open to all kinds of things. So for me, that could be a little, I make it more challenging for myself because I'm in such a niche and I focus only on men's clothing and specifically more vintage and streetwear type stuff. So there's definitely times when I will go to one of the stores and there's just not a whole lot of anything, especially as I've been moving up to higher average sale prices and stuff like that. What are you smiling at?
I'm just like everybody's last night. My hair looked great. Today, my hair looks great. Well, thank you. This is what it looks like when it's not washed. And I just throw it up in a clip.
Yeah.
So,
so I adjusted the camera so that hopefully we can get comments on here without covering up Vicki's face. So here's a funny one from Jen. She says, I realize there's always something to find after I started hoarding like a doomsday prepper.
it's true.
Yeah, there's always good stuff. Always good stuff.
I didn't expect to find as much as I found today, like the tonnage of stuff. I think I spent $130, and I haven't quite. I just brought it into the house less than an hour ago. But I spent $130, and I think I got about 15 or 20 items, and every single one is going to sell for over, $40, sometimes more.
Yep.
We got Mama in the house. Hello, beautiful.
Hip flipping Mama.
Enrique, I do not have a booster seat today. We just adjusted the camera on the computer.
I adjusted the camera, and then I put a pillow on her seat for her to sit on as like a little booster seat. But then it was like too much. She was like way up high.
So the stuffed taco in the back is a gift from Frenchie, right? Was that from Frenchie?
Yes, I believe that was from Frenchie. She sent it like a big box. So Kara, I appreciate. Kara says nobody else is saying, Katy, your hair looks great today too. I agree. Look, I think I've got some good burns going on. So thank you, Kara. Thank you, Kara, for caring about me. Okay, because it's all about Vikki.
Yeah, well, when you have pink hair, it gets noticed. What could I tell you?
Yeah, pretty much. But anyway, she got me this Skittles hat, and then she gives it to me. And believe me, guys, I'm very appreciative. Red's like my second favorite color, very close to the color green. Green's my favorite. Red, I probably wear more stuff with red just because it's a much more common color that's used in clothing. But anyway, so I love it. But then she made the mistake of telling me that there were actually two of them, and she thought about getting both. But then she's like, but I didn't want to be twinsies. And I'm like, hello, we could have given one away on the show.
The other one had like schmutz on it. So that was why
now you say that. You didn't bother saying that earlier.
No, it didn't.
Because I was thinking it'd be kind of cool. Because people would be like, oh, it's a cool Skittles hat. And I'd be like, oh, yeah? You want one too? See, it would have been real cool.
Weirdo.
But again, I'm the one that's always thinking about everybody, not you.
Yeah. Listen, any of you that have ever gotten a prize pack, you should be thanking me because it would never go out otherwise.
Yeah, and then so Greg says, and then there's that awesome shirt Katy's wearing because, of course, it is a shirt that he gifted to me. One of my many Misfits shirts now, but I do really love it because it's like old school Misfits. We Are 138. It's one of my favorite Misfits songs, actually. Anyway, Lorna over in the chat, she's shouting out Dana. She said, I channeled you today and found my first Johnny Was item. Almost died in my crappy little Goodwill. So that's pretty exciting.
I still have one. I've only found one and it still hasn't sold, and I don't really know why. It's pretty cool. I may just keep it for myself at this point.
Yeah.
I've had it for like 6 months. I don't understand why it hasn't sold.
Sonny, my hat should have come with a pack of lime Skittles, but sadly, no.
It did not.
Sadly, it did not. Anyway, guys, so it's Sunday. It's been a long week. I can't believe it's already going to be Monday again tomorrow.
Seriously, I feel like these weeks are just, I'm sure some of you may understand what I'm talking about, but the older you get, the freaking weeks go by so fast. I feel like it was just Sunday. Like we just did this. Yeah. Are we out of Skittles already? No, I think we still have.
We're on the last bag that I have to hide from Vikki so it doesn't disappear.
Yeah, possibly.
So, Pretty much. But I can't believe it's almost getting close to being September again. Just crazy. Anyway, so let's get into it. This is like one of our favorite shows that we do. If not, well, now that we have No Pants Friday back again. I don't know.
I know.
But we do love this show. And so for anyone who's new to the show, hasn't watched this before, I'm Katy. This is Vikki. We are resellers, and every Sunday we do the Sunday Live Haul show. We kind of break it up into 3 sections. So the first one, we go over our actual numbers for the previous week. We go from last Sunday through yesterday, so the last 7 full days. So we go over our numbers. Most of it is exact numbers. Some of it's a little bit like we do a little bit of estimating when it comes to like our cost of goods and stuff like that. But it's just kind of like to give you a better idea of like what our actual numbers are for the week, and we combine our Etsy and eBay sales. Our businesses are completely separate, so I show mine and then you show yours. And then the second section of the show, We go over kind of the highlights of the things that we sold in the past week. So that's when we show all the stuff that we think is the coolest. But as always, at any time, we do have links to our stores down below. So you can go and
stalk us anytime.
Yeah, you can go and look for yourself and see what we actually sold and see all the other stuff. Because, of course, we're picking out the things that we think are the best. And
we give our highlights.
Exactly.
But what's pretty cool, you know, a lot of resellers like to show their numbers, or they talk about their numbers, or they show hauls, or they show their, you know, their packages, their pile of packages. I don't care if you have 3 packages or 300 packages. Good for you. Go get yours. But what we like to do, or we try to do, is make sure that you see, you know, kind of the realities of reselling. I mean, you don't pay 25 cents for every item and sell it for $100, right?
Yeah.
There are costs involved with reselling. There are costs from the platforms that you sell on. There are final value fees. There are shipping fees. There are cost of goods, all that kind of stuff. So a lot of people, you know, forget about that stuff, especially when they're new. You know, they'll be like, oh, I bought something for $5 and I sold it for $20 and it was free shipping. And once you break that down, you're not really making enough money for it to be really worth doing. So what we try to do is give a little bit of education as to how to bring your average sale price up and how to be a little bit more realistic with your numbers, so that you're actually putting more money in your pocket for the work you're doing.
And we like to be transparent and show our numbers so that then you can decide if you want to look to us as I wouldn't necessarily say experts, but at least people that you want to ask advice from, so that you can maybe, like, you know, have some faith that maybe we know what we're talking about. And then the last section of our show is where we do our haul. We just show kind of the highlights of some of the stuff that we picked up over the last week. Mine this week is pretty meager. Vikki, between some of the stuff that she picked up from the local seller and at the store, in the stores, we got a lot more stuff than I do, and some pretty cool stuff. So I think
that was me, like, what, 2 weeks ago? I think I had like 4 things to show. So
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, sometimes we buy more than we need, and sometimes we're right on track. Like right now, I've probably got a good 2 weeks of listing without of stuff without having to source. But I always say that. Who knows?
A couple of magical things happening over here in the chat. Okay, first of all, Dana said she was in the dress aisle at Goodwill the other day and literally said out loud, "Show me the Jams world," and boom, there it was. So she worked some magic.
All right.
So I think
that happened.
I think that's pretty awesome.
Okay.
And by the way, guys, House of Rocks, make sure you're following her on Instagram. She has a great Instagram with awesome content. And then the other one I wanted to point out is Allison said she just had 4 Apple iPods fall out of a vintage boot. So much better than used tissue. And she said, of course, I had to put it in my Insta story. So again, go check out Big Drift Thrift on Instagram. Between her and House of Rocks, you will be thoroughly entertained throughout the week.
Way better than used tissue or like some skunk weed that somebody forgot and shoved in a boot. That's the kind of stuff that I find.
Yeah? You smoked that skunk weed?
No, gross. Mama Kelly just sold $350 worth of Longaburger baskets. I talked to her last week. She had just bought a crap ton of them. So that's really good. Or you've already got a good return on your investment on those. So.
What the heck are Longaburger baskets?
It's a type of basket that was super popular 15 years ago. Everybody was buying and collecting. It's like any other type of collectible. It's kind of jumped the shark, but there are certain ones that are still worth quite a bit of money. And collectors still like to buy them. It was one of those things that was a super hot thing that everybody was collecting like 15 years ago.
Gotcha. So Enrique wants to know how List Perfectly is going so far.
Oh my God. Okay, so I love it. I don't know why it took me so long to jump on. The only reason I can honestly say is that I've been so scattered and so busy through July, and that was when everybody started really messing around with it. I didn't have enough time to dedicate to it. So I wanted to have the time to dedicate to it and actually use it for several days or for a week before I committed to it, especially because you get a trial period for a week. I didn't want to jump in and like be able to use it for an hour out of that week. You know what I'm saying? So I started using the trial this week. I freaking love it. So just because, I know that there have been some other YouTubers that have had the girls on and already, but we're going to have Amanda and Kara on Wednesday. They're going to be doing our live Boss Up and List show, and they're going to be doing a demo for List Perfectly. Yeah. So if you have not seen one of the live demos yet, and even if you have, because I think I get a little bit more from everyone that I watch, you should definitely tune in on Wednesday. List Perfectly is doing awesome. I've been using it for, less than a week now, and I've already had a sale on Macari, which is a site that I'd never used before. It's so simple and easy. It is honestly, it's well worth it. Anyway,
Very
and
cool.
they do have a wait list right now, but the wait list is a week to 10 days. They were inundated, and you'd rather have them have the server up so that they can handle the questions and the incoming customers than not. It is literally 2 women that are doing everything. So it's not like this big, huge corporation that can take on thousands and thousands and thousands of subs.
Yeah. So we'll get into that more on Wednesday, since we're going to have a whole show about it. And then Big Thrift. Allison says I should get my reseller box tomorrow. I actually bought a reseller box from her. So I am going to do some sort of like probably live unboxing. I might do it on Instagram. So pay attention for that, because I will definitely be opening that on camera somewhere at some point. It'll probably be tomorrow because I won't want to wait to look and see what's in it.
So Bill says they've sold 2 things on Poshmark and 2 things on eBay since using it. I have not decided to cross post to Poshmark yet. I still think it's a bit of a needy bitch. So I've added Mercari as my 3rd platform. Just, with some of my heavier household goods or home goods or things like that. I haven't been listing clothing there. I'm not real interested in that. And I put some of my vintage stuff there, and then I have all my vintage on Etsy. But I was paying when I was paying Dana to do cross posting just to Etsy with just my vintage items. And this is so much faster than it would be for me to pay Dana to do that. So what I'm going to be doing is taking the hours and the time that I would have been paying Dana to cross post and I'm going to pay her to do more listing for me. I'm going to show her how to use the program so that she can also cross post to the other platforms while she's listing for me. And therefore I'll get more money, more quality work for the money for my assistant.
Yeah. All right, let's get into looking at our sales numbers for the last week. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little screen share here. Let's see if I can get this right. I think this is the first time I've done it with this software. Whee! We just got really small. Whee!
A little ridiculous.
Whee! If we can be bigger. Whoa! And then whee! Wait, I time a little bit better.
One heck of a thrifter. All right, really stop. One heck of a thrifter had a funny comment there. Hey, ladies, happy that you have the feature where you can put everyone's quote up. Now I can see what they really look like instead of using my glasses.
I know, right?
That's what we said the other day. Yes.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so let's look at my numbers first. So this is week ending yesterday. A little bit of a light week. I had 20 eBay outgoing orders. Now, I actually had 8 Etsy orders, but I realized that one of my orders, which I will be showing when we get to our highlights, was actually 3 things. So I think we should actually just change this to items because it messes up your average sale price when you have multiple items, if that makes sense at all.
Yeah.
What are you laughing at over there?
Yeah.
Honey, I Shrunk the YouTubers?
Yeah, that was what I laughed at.
Anyway, so really this isn't orders. Let's change that to items because I had 8 Etsy orders, but I put 10 in here so my average sale price would be correct. So I had 20 items for eBay, 10 items for Etsy, for a total of 30 items sold. My eBay gross sales, $1,194.92. My Etsy gross sales, $641.15 for a total gross of $1,836.07. My shipping costs, $137.24. My promotion fees between eBay and Etsy is $70.05, and then it calculates our fees there. So total costs before cost of goods, $408.38. And then my cost of goods were roughly $235. So that brings me to a total net sales of $1,192.69.
Little weak.
Little weak, is that what you said?
Yeah, weak, not W-E-E-K, W-E-A-K.
Oh, I'm aware of your criticism.
Listen, this
so
is what happens
rude
when you don't work for like a bunch.
So rude.
I'm the same. My sales are slower. I did not experience the summer slowdown. I experienced the slowdown effect of not working for a month.
Yeah. You know what's crazy though is that today. So look at my eBay gross sales right here. My whole gross sales today. I'm already at about $500 in sales between eBay and Etsy just today.
Wow.
So it's like I've had
and
like
I've
a really
sold
weird
one thing for $35 today.
I've had like a really weird day.
That was me on Friday. Friday I had $700 in by noon.
Yeah.
It was weird.
So my gross average sale price, $61.20. And then my net is $39.76. So, okay. I mean, yeah, it's like I definitely feel like a lot of this has to do with me not being able to list as much over this last month or so.
Oh, I wasn't blaming you. Yeah, I'm just saying.
I'm aware. Anyway, but I still think with everything with that in mind, my numbers are actually decent, which just tells you it's like we're moving slowly towards fourth quarter. All right, let's do yours.
Okay, so mine's not a heck of a lot better than yours. I was only teasing you. I only have $200 more in net sales, pretty much. So 41 eBay orders, 4 Etsy for a total of 45, 1845 and change on eBay, 469 and change on Etsy for a total of 2315 and change for the week, which is not a bad week. But I had some high shipping and some. Why are my final value fees so high on eBay? Are you sure that's right?
Your final value fees? It should be.
Okay.
It gets calculated, so there's a number right there.
So shipping, $325, promoted listing fees and final value fees, Etsy fees, all that kind of stuff. You can see it line by line. Total cost of $699, cost of goods another $203 for a total of $1412 net sales. So okay, I prefer to be around $1,500 to $1,800. I really prefer to be $2,000 a week net, but that'll happen in another few weeks. So average sale price $51, which is good for me, and net average sale price $31.
Nice. I would like to point out that we just got a fantastic super chat from Allison, $1.99 to go towards the sour cream fund. I accept that
she is
graciously.
Never going to let it go.
I will accept that graciously because I need that sour cream fund because it is hard to keep sour cream in the house. Allison actually sent Vikki a picture. Where's your phone at? Do you have it
downstairs?
Here? Oh man. Anyway, she sent Vikki a picture and it was I think it was a Casey throwing away the sour cream. So rude. So rude. And she said something like she was going to have to go and wait till Casey was asleep and she was going to go retrieve that sour cream. So Allison, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm going to put that in the special.
Seriously,
sour cream
Susan,
fund.
I am never going to live it down between that and the freaking sausage egg McMuffin.
Here's what I need, though. Here's what I need to do. Is I need to get myself a little mini fridge for upstairs. And in that mini fridge, I will keep some sour cream.
And some really old crap, I'm sure.
I'll have some sour cream. I'll have myself some sodies. And probably whatever else I feel like I need to hide from you because you can't be trusted. Cannot be trusted.
Such a jerk.
Yeah.
And guest food, Lorna says. All right. So there was a couple of comments in here I just wanted to go over. So Reseller Project asked, so Michelle, does your final value fee include PayPal fees? Yes. Yes, it does.
Yeah, I believe the eBay one, yes, because Teresa,
she calculated it.
She's
for
the
us.
one
she did a little.
She did some calculating.
Some calculating on a spreadsheet. Yeah. So it's a spreadsheet formula, but yeah, it has final value fees for PayPal and eBay.
So Swift Seller wants to know, what do you use to go live on now? So there's a software. It's actually in beta. It's called StreamYard. And check it out. It's pretty awesome. What's great is that if you have ever used Google Hangouts to go live with, which is what we used before, it's very similar to that, just as far as being super intuitive. And it's actually got like even better features. So you're probably going to notice that the majority of bigger YouTubers or any YouTubers that are having guests on, especially, are using the same software. I know Casey is. I know Robin and Joey are, and like
you're going to start seeing it a lot more because once they got rid of Google Hangouts, there are only so many options, and this one actually seems to be the most user friendly for live streaming. Yeah,
but you're going to recognize it on all these other shows because it's super simplified, so that you can just kind of enter everything in. But it's not super customizable to a certain degree. So like putting up those the little chat things at the bottom. Is awesome, but everybody's going to look the same. It's just going to have like different color schemes and stuff like that. But you can overlay like logos and different things like that. But
it looks a lot more professional.
Cool.
It's definitely, a little more quality. I like it. So Nature Girl, can you highlight that question there?
Yep.
Can anyone recommend an economical printer just for shipping label or other kinds? No HP. She's about to throw it through the window or the wall or whatever. Don't do that. So we use a Zebra printer, a Zebra thermal printer. If you're using just for labels, for our shipping labels, thermal printers are the way to go because you don't need any ink. They're a little pricier up front. There are many different levels though. Just look for used ones even on eBay.
Yeah.
Zebra printers are excellent. Dymo. I know that some other YouTubers recommend the Rollo printer.
Put some search alerts out on eBay so that you can keep on top of it when stuff comes up, because they do come up cheap sometimes.
Yeah, they do, and it's really cool. It's much easier for labels, so that it's, you've got to buy the labels, you've got to buy the printer, but once you're set, overall, it's much cheaper than using ink to print out things for an inkjet printer or even for a laser printer. Now, if you don't have the money to invest and you only have a little bit, what I would suggest is an inexpensive Brother laser printer. Brother seems to last the longest, and there are a bunch of them that you can buy for under $100 that get an awful lot of sheets for what you need for printing for pieces of paper.
Yeah.
So for like one of the drums of ink. So it's up to you.
We do have down below in the description of this video, there's a list of like all the different products that we use, different types of things that we use. And there is a link to a Zebra printer that's similar to the one that we use. So you can check it out there at least to see what it looks like. But yeah, for sure. So
yeah, so we use a Zebra 550, ZP 550 or 505, one of the two. It's got those numbers in there. Anyway, it is one of the pricier ones, I have to say. It was probably a $400 or $500 one. There are many that are less expensive than that.
Dana's still using the Brother that I gave her when I moved here.
Exactly, which is the exact Brother that I have that I used to print out my invoices. I still have the same one.
Brother's from another mother.
So, okay, let's see.
Do you want to get into our
let's
sales
get into our
highlights? Our sold highlights. All right, here we go.
A lot of people talking about it being slow this week on eBay. This is a notoriously slow week, just so you guys know. For the next week or two, this is back to school. Back to school weeks, the exact weeks that all the kids start to go back to school, and you start seeing all your back to school pictures and you're on Facebook and stuff. This is when it is slow. So.
Oh, real quick, Red Hill Vintage. Too many surprises with stains when I arrive home from the thrift haul. You still planning the Katy Secret Stain Remover show? Yeah, we really need to do that, and we'll try and get that done sometime in this next week or two. Between stains and smells and stuff like that, I think we can show some of the products, stuff that we're using. And I know we keep saying we're going to do it,
and we've put them aside, and
it'll happen.
Yeah, it'll happen. Sorry,
it'll happen eventually. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share the screen here.
I think we only have a couple of wrenches left in the house. Dana's leaving, or Dana's still here or not? I don't know.
I don't know. I think she's right there. She's talking. Oh, no, she's Dana's right there.
Okay.
All right. So here we go. You're up first.
Okay. So I think I paid $10 or $15 for these. Definitely not more than 15. I actually forgot which ones these were as far as what I paid for them. But I took an offer for $90. Customer did pay shipping on these. And as you can see, they're not. I don't do the whole like shine up every pair of shoes and scrub the soles and make them look pretty and stuff because I'm sorry,
docs.
I don't have time for that. First of all, could I have gotten a little bit more if I did that? Probably so, but my time's worth money, so I'm trying to get stuff listed quickly. So those didn't even get shined up.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we've got a few people. We've got Hip Flippin' Mama. We've got Dana. We've got Barbara. Lorna's still there. All right, next one for me. Now, this isn't a huge sale, but I just listed this list last week. And this is just to show, we've talked about it before, but anything like rodeo related in any way is just like an easy flip. I paid a couple dollars for this t-shirt. It's just, it's from the 1998 schedule for the Wrangler Bull Riders only, Cowboy Up thing, whatever that is. And it's like it was listed less than a week before it sold for $35. So I'm telling you, anytime you see anything that's like rodeo related, and especially if it has like a good graphic on it, it is a no-brainer because I paid like $2 for this and sold it for $35 in a matter of just a few days. So you always want to pick this kind of stuff up.
I have to be honest, Jen. Jen says she spends a lot of time prepping shoes and boots. I spend 0 time prepping shoes and boots.
Mm-hmm.
I have one of those little sponges, a little sponge that's a shiny sponge thing. If it's something worthy, I will kind of use that a little bit.
Yeah.
But that takes all of 5 seconds. And if it's Converse or Vans and they've got the white the white toe or whatever, I'll do a little magic eraser to clean off the white toe. That makes it look a little nicer. But other than that, that's it.
Yep. Dana says I sound like I have a cold. I am like a little congested, so
you sound a little snuffily.
Well, apparently I sound snuffy. All right, you're next.
So this is not like a huge sale or anything like that, but this is the price that it sold for. I showed these in a haul video a few weeks ago. I picked up 8 of these vintage colognes for $1 a piece. I picked up 9 of them, sorry, for $1 a piece. And I've only sold one for $42. And
not too shabby.
I just wanted to show, like, when you have multiples, it took me all of, a couple of seconds to list this and take the photos. And the first one just sold. So $42 for out of $1. And I have 9 more. 8 more. I'm
well, yeah. And you're going to make like basically between almost, $300 and $400 on something that you only had to list one time. So that's pretty good. Pretty good. All right. Kind of along the same lines of like the rodeo stuff. This is a John Prine hoodie, not vintage, from 2005. And a lot of you guys, I mean, maybe you've never heard of John Prine, but he's kind of one of those.
I've never heard of him.
He's like a country folk singer-songwriter dude that has kind of a pretty strong following. He's not huge mainstream necessarily, but it's kind of one of those things where, I knew that I could pick this up and I'd be able to flip it, even though it's like a used hoodie that's not even vintage. And I ended up taking an offer for $43. I think I had this listed for a couple of months, but $43 for a used hoodie. I mean, that's not nothing.
No.
And it really just has to do with this, you just don't see a lot of these around. You know how there's like some of the bigger artists, you see a bazillion t-shirts out there, like consider all of the, reprints of like Metallica and AC/DC. It's like super, super overmade and
they're sold at Walmart and Target.
Yeah, they're everywhere. So something like this, it's like he has a strong following, but it's not going to be something that you're going to be able to easily find at a regular store. It's like you'd have to go to a show to be able to pick something like this up. So something like this is more likely to sell.
So Jen says she collects vintage perfume and cologne, always pass up Avon. I don't always buy Avon. A lot of Avon is worthless, especially if they still make it. What is tends to be valuable almost anywhere is if they don't make it at all anymore and someone likes that scent. So even Avon and cheap colognes and perfumes, drugstore perfumes, look those up. Okay, so I showed this in a haul. I love these clocks. I buy them every time I see them. This particular one I ended up paying like $30 for at an estate sale. And I took an offer for $100 plus shipping because it's only going to Washington and it's going to cost me less than that shipping charge to get it there. So, yeah, I mean, it wasn't a huge return, but I was pretty happy to sell it for $130.
Yeah, I think it's awesome.
Yeah, my nose is really itchy. Sorry, guys.
Take care of your nose.
Allergies or something.
All right, check it out, guys. I finally sold my last pair of teeny tiny little Adidas shoes. So
teeny tiny.
For those of you that remember, I had bought these
around Christmas time.
Yeah, it was during the holidays. I was kind of doing, I don't even remember what I was looking up, but somehow I stumbled across these shoes, these little mini shoes on the Adidas website. And they were on clearance. So they normally were $50, but they were clearancing them off for $25 a piece. So I bought a bunch of them.
You bought 5 of them.
Yeah, I bought 5 of them. And slowly, they didn't go as fast as I had hoped they would. Because I think that's kind of a weird thing. It's like, who's going to be looking for it? Where do you even list it? Like, what category do you put it in? And like, who's going to even know what it is? And so it was a little bit odd. And I think I sold like, if not all of them, like maybe 4 of them went international.
Yep.
And so I actually took an offer on these for $85. And they ended up going to the UK. So when I got an offer, I was like, oh, 85 plus they're paying shipping. All right, cool. So I was happy with that. So I did make money on all of them. I didn't make as much as I was hoping to. I was really hoping I was going to sell them all for like over $100 a piece. But I think all of them sold for, I think the lowest I took was like $80 for another one going to the UK. And again, they almost all went internationally. So I made extra money just on the shipping because I used pirate shipping.
I think they're cute.
Rate. They're adorable. You can see the little measuring thing.
I mean, I don't know who the hell would spend $100 on mini Adidas because I don't get that at all. But
they're teeny
tiny.
Anyway, so yeah, finally got rid of those.
So these shoes, I showed in a haul video. I picked these up. They are new. They're shelf worn. They're unworn, but oh, that's a nice close up right there. They're like velvet, so that's like just dust that sits on them. If you look at the other pictures, you can tell it. You don't really see it that close. But anyway, they sold. They sold within like 2 or 3 days of listing for the price that you see there. They were unworn. There is writing on the sole. So like people talk about, trying to remove the Goodwill writing on the sole. Like never in my life have I tried to remove the Goodwill writing.
Who cares?
Don't care. They sold for an offer, actually. It doesn't show that, but it was $120 was the offer. And then I did actually put them in a box because they were over $100. I did not bag them.
Gotcha.
So they sold.
Very cool. Next up, guys.
Oh, and I paid like $8 for these. I just showed these in a haul like last week or the week before because I don't know, whoever they only had them marked at like $7.99 at the store. So they didn't know what they were.
For those of you who watched, I believe it was last week's show, I think you'll appreciate this sale of mine.
Shut up. I literally have the exact same tank top listed, and I'm pretty sure I have almost all the same keywords even, and I've had it listed for like a freaking year for like half that price, and it still isn't sold.
Maybe so, but I don't know, because I don't think you have the Lone Cypress in keywords. I
may not now, but
and that was something that I don't remember who it was, but there was somebody in the chat who had pointed out that tree right there is called the Lone Cypress, and it's like a well-known kind of landmark. But anyway, I had it listed for $48.99. Went back and forth a couple times with somebody. They ended up offering me $40, and I was like, you know what? I will take $40. I think you have yours listed for like $41.97 with best offer. But how long have you had it listed?
Like a year.
She's had it listed for a year. It is the exact same tank top. And I'm almost positive it's the same size. Like, I think yours is even a large.
Who knows?
And I sold mine in a matter of a few days.
She's such a jerk.
Yours is still listed.
It's so funny.
I'm telling you guys, sometimes there's no rhyme or reason. Now, I will say that it could have something to do with the fact that because I have such a niche, and I do sell a lot of t-shirts. I notice when there's a lot of activity within specific categories, it moves other things within that category go faster.
That's true.
And so Vikki does not list t-shirts regularly.
Nope.
Like when I go, I won't list, I have my vinyl records. I won't list any for like a month, and then I'll get a couple in and I'll list them. And all of a sudden that week I'll sell 3 of my older ones. So I think that has a lot to do with it. So that's probably one thing that is on the pro side, like a bonus side of actually having a niche, is that you're constantly going to be active within those categories. I'm only doing t-shirts, jackets, and sweatshirts are kind of like my main categories. And so they're always seeing regular weekly activity, where even daily activity.
There might be something behind that for sure.
Whereas Vikki's going months probably without listing a t-shirt sometimes.
Yeah, I don't buy them very often at all.
All right, next up.
So this sold the day after I listed it. It sold for $145. I got an offer. When I list something, I list it high enough knowing that the expectation is that it's going to roll into a sale anywhere from 20 to 30% off within the next week, right? Because I know that I'm going to always have a sale. I list everything real high with, I think my photos are good. My photos show what type of surface damage there is on these items, that type of thing. So I paid $8 for this, and I sold it took an offer for $145 the day after I listed it, and it shipped to California.
Well, and isn't this one you picked up in?
I picked it up in California. Went right back to California. I picked it up in Berkeley when I went to an estate sale when we were there for Pride. We were in San Francisco for Pride, and I was at an estate sale with Robin and Alexis.
Yeah, and you bought it. It was too heavy. You weren't going to bring it home on the plane.
Right.
And so isn't Robin the one that actually brought it back for you?
Robin hung on to the box of stuff and brought it when she came for open. So I listed it right after.
And then you shipped it right on back to California. So I was thinking that's kind of funny. All right, next up for me is this University of Indianapolis varsity Letterman jacket. And I went back and forth a little bit. I've had this listed. This has been up for a few months. And so went back and forth a little bit. And then I finally accepted an offer for $108. And so let's see, I have this listed. It was listed at $199.99, but I do the 30% off sale. So that actually would have been at $139.99. So 108 to me is it was decent, and I wanted to bring some money in. So
it's getting harder to see what things actually sold for.
It is.
Do you
I don't
notice
know why
that?
it's
Like the
not.
way that they're showing that it's not even showing the sale prices
Mm-hmm.
because you always have a sale running just like me. So
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, all right, next one up for you. But yeah, I always pick these kinds of jackets up. Even if it was a blank, it would be worth picking up, guys, because the blank ones, if they're in good condition and they're vintage, they sell really well. But if they are for a specific school as well, obviously that's even better.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So this one was pretty cool. I wouldn't normally have picked up this type of shirt. I think it was real cheap. It was like $3 or $4 maybe. It's just a button-down Pendleton shirt, but I thought the content on it was pretty cool. First of all, it was made in the 90s, made in Hong Kong, so it's vintage 90s. It's kind of one of those like button-down, typical 90s colors in that, you know, hunter green, burgundy with the stripe, but it has like camping and skiing.
I think
and
it's super cool.
I don't know. I thought the print was pretty cool with the paisley. It's just so very 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So I had this listed both on eBay and Etsy, and it sold on Etsy yesterday.
All right, let's see what it sold for. And there you go.
$69.95. So
Woo-hoo!
free shipping. There was no sale going on with that one. So
Woo-hoo! Good job.
So Sandra is at the beach and will miss the show. She said, hi, everyone. Thanks for the message, Jen. All right, Sandra, I suppose you can have a life.
Sandra, whatever, Sandra. All right. Next one for me. Remember this one, guys?
Yes.
So this cool
Grunge Snoopy. And
Grunge
Charlie
Snoopy.
Brown. That was cute.
Totally 90s. He's got his little beanie hat on.
The plaid.
Snoopy's wearing, they're both wearing their flannels. Super, super cute. I didn't think this would last very long. Now, one of the things to notice about with the Peanut stuff is they'll actually have like the original copyright information on it. And so usually when you look at like a t-shirt, like let's say you're looking at like again, going back to like a Metallica t-shirt, a band t-shirt, the date on it will be the date that t-shirt was made usually. In this case, this is not a sweatshirt from the 50s, but it says 58 and 50. But anyway, this is just an awesome sweatshirt. And
I like that sweatshirt. That's really cute. I would totally have picked that up if I had seen that.
Yeah, really, really cute. And it did have some light staining on one sleeve, so I didn't go as high with my pricing as I would have had it been totally clean. And so this one went for $47.99, but it went to Canada. So the shipping was actually paid for, and I made a few extra bucks on that as well using Pirate Ship.
That's cute.
But yeah, it's just, I love this sweatshirt. It's a cute little sweatshirt.
Another 90s, again, the green, the purple, the red, the color block striping. This is just iconic 90s. Everything about this is 90s. So this also sold on Etsy. I believe I paid $6 or $7 for this. I know I didn't pay more than that. This also sold on Etsy this week for,
let's see,
$79.95.
What?
It did fit barely, just barely, into a padded flat rate mailer. It's a very thick, heavy sweater. It barely fit into that, but it did. It went in the US. So
that's pretty awesome. This is a case where, so Land's End, not a particularly like super desirable brand.
Right.
It's really all about the style and the look of it.
The fact that it was made in the USA, vintage, it was definitely like the iconic color block look.
Yeah.
So
it's awesome. All right. Next one for me is this Taz baseball it's kind of like a t-shirt hoodie, because it was like a real thin like t-shirt, long sleeve t-shirt material, but then it has a hood on it.
I remember this one too.
Yeah, I haven't really had this listed for that long, maybe like a month or so. Made in the USA, vintage, just kind of a cool, pretty generic batter up Tasmanian Devil t-shirt hoodie. So let's see, what did I sell this for, guys? Yeah, I sold it for $47.99. So $47.99, and this one also went international. This one went to Germany, and so again, I actually made more on it because they paid for shipping, and I used Pirate Ship simple export rate to send it, and so I made a few more bucks on the shipping as well. So I always love these sales, especially when they're on Etsy, because obviously the fees are lower than eBay, so it's always kind of nice. All right, next one up for you. This is your last
Well, this
one.
was my best. This is kind of my granddaddy of the week. I just sold this on Friday. Customer contacted me, asked me if I could ship it out that day. It was Friday morning. They're like, could you get this out today? Because I need it for a photo shoot on Monday. And they're in California. So I was like, oh, yeah, absolutely. You'll get it Monday afternoon. And they were like, I really need it Tuesday. So I wanted to say Monday. I'm like, well, it's going priority. I'm shipping it out Friday. They probably got it yesterday. I didn't double check. So knowing what the price was on this, I was like, yeah, I would have driven it to the post office personally. So I paid $10 for it at a garage sale about 6 months ago. It was on sale. My sale ended on Friday. So it sold for $299.95.
What?
Or $299.97 or something like that.
What? Plus they paid for shipping. Right?
No, they did not.
Oh, they
pay.
did.
They did not pay for shipping, but shipping only cost $8 because it's just a throw blanket, and it was already in the thing, and it went to California.
That is awesome.
So
nice sale. Yeah, that was a pretty exciting one. I mean, that was a good score. So
it was a really good score, and I knew it was going to have to sit there. I had a couple lowball offers. The highest offer I think I had gotten on it was like $100, and they're like, "You're never going to get more than $100 for a freaking blanket." Yeah. I was like, "Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, boy."
So I knew it was going to sell. I just knew I had to wait for the right person.
Yeah.
And look at
you didn't have to
Cheryl.
wait that long.
Cheryl, guess who found another San Marcos large blanket for $1.95?
What? She's out of control with those blankets. All right. So the last thing I have to show, I actually have three things. So what I was saying when I was talking about our numbers for the week, my numbers for the week, is I actually had I had one buyer buy 3 items. And what was really cool is on Etsy, I've shown this before, but when you look at your orders on Etsy, sometimes there'll be a little star next to the order and it'll say repeat buyer.
Yes, yep.
And then you can go click on the buy, like you hover over the buyer's name and it'll drop down and you can look at like what their order history is. And so this particular buyer actually bought from me like a few months ago and they got 4 t-shirts from me that time. So they obviously come in, they look at my store, they're going through it. And they chose 3 different t-shirts to buy. And so nothing like too crazy. There's this Catalina Island t-shirt, this United Way, Colorado River t-shirt that's got like this.
I wonder if it's somebody that actually wears the shirts or if they resell them themselves from somewhere.
I think they wear them. This United Way, it's like a wolf on a jet ski, which is pretty awesome. And then this Breckenridge, Colorado t-shirt. But it was quite the order because they didn't like try to reach out to me. And yes, there's no best offer on Etsy, but sometimes you'll get people asking if you'll, will you do like a lower price, like a bulk order or something like that. But nope, they paid full price for everything. So the Catalina Island t-shirt went for $35.99. And then this awesome wolf jet skiing t-shirt went for $47.99. And then the Breckenridge, Colorado t-shirt went for $47.99. So their total was something like $133 something for 3 t-shirts, 3 vintage t-shirts, you guys. So not bad. And clearly I have somebody who comes back to my store and looks at stuff in my store. So again, that's another like kind of on the plus side of
having a niche.
Yeah, of having like basically a niche. So, obviously there's downsides to that as well, because as we were talking about before, when I go into a thrift store, I'm very limited in the sections I can look at. And it's much more common for me to come away with not really anything good.
The guy that I talked to today said to me, he's like, I've seen your girlfriend, your wife. He's like, couldn't tell what you were. He said, I've seen her here before. And usually in this section, it was the men's section I was in. I said, yeah, if I'm with her, I said, I'm banned from the men's section. So he's banned. I'm banned.
Yeah. Well, cause I gotta have something to shop. So, but anyway, yeah. So there's always going to be pros and cons because people ask, is it better to have a niche? Is it better to be open to anything? And, honestly, it's whatever works for you because there's going to be pros and cons either way. Either way.
All right, so we're at 2:49 already. So let's get into our haul.
Indeed. Well, so Cheryl says that her hubby says I cut my hair. It's been a little while, but having this hat on probably makes it look a little short. But yes, I probably did cut it since the last time you saw me. All right, so you want to go ahead and start?
Yeah, sure, I'll start.
I honestly, guys, I don't have anything fantastic this week. Mine's
I'm
pretty
going to
slim.
try to just like the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to show some of the things that I picked up from. So last week when I showed you a lot of those tin toys, I talked about finding a local person who was willing to sell a whole bunch of stuff. She's digging through her grandmother had an antique store back in Ohio. And then she moved here and everything was in a storage facility. And then the woman passed away like at least 5 or 6 years ago. And between her and her father, they have two-car garages full of all of her stuff, which is already curated, boxed, and super clean and neat. So she's going through things box at a time, and she's contacted me with things that she thinks I may want to purchase. Really, I would like to just go in and buy out the content sight unseen, but I don't think that I've thrown that out there a couple of times, and I don't think they're quite willing to do that yet. That might happen, but whatever. Either way, she did contact me this week for more stuff. She had a big old box of stuff and asked me what I wanted. So I went and picked up I spent $50 for a huge box. I'm just going to show you some of the highlights, but everything in the box is Raggedy Ann collectibles. So if Dorothy happens to be watching this at all, and Kara may recognize some of the Raggedy Ann things that Dorothy purchased in the hoarder house. They had a huge room that was all stuff like that. So, So some stuff, Raggedy Ann, is not worth a lot. A lot of it was mass produced, but a lot of the older stuff is really collectible. And you're going to want to find a lot of the stuff that's dated. So the dated stuff is really collectible. And so this is some of that. So certain Raggedy Ann dolls and Raggedy Andy dolls are worth a lot of money. This particular one is an older one. And this one is probably made in like the 40s or so. And this one could go for a few $100s. I'm actually going to be putting it up in auction.
It's cute.
He's Raggedy Andy. There's no tags. He's got an old kind of a real Raggedy Andy at some point in the 50s or 60s. His shirt went to checkers, like gingham check. And this is a floral pattern. So that kind of helps date it a little bit. I've got to do a little more research to figure out exactly when this one was made. But this is an older one. So
isn't that some sort of dance move?
What?
Gingham check. I'm hilarious. You're so rude.
Ridiculous. So one of the other things, and again, I haven't tested these things, but for the price, I just kind of bought everything. This is one that's an alarm clock, and I picked up 2 of them. They're these vintage talking alarm clocks. If it works, they go for about $40 to $50 a piece. Pacific 49 asked, how can you tell if it's not handmade? Sometimes there are tags,
The dolls.
and then other times you can tell by the type of stitching on the clothing.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes time to figure out which are handmade and which are not. But handmade ones actually have a lot of value as well, depending on how old they are. So
if seller wants to know, will you have a reserve on the doll?
no, I've never done a reserve on anything. I may put it in auction, but I'll probably start the auction to like maybe around $60 or $100, depending on when I start to do my a little bit more in-depth research on it. So certain older items like that do get multiple bids. So that's one of the reasons why if I sell it for $60 or $100 for my opening bid, I wouldn't be hating that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And why do you not ever do a reserve?
Because the buyers hate reserves.
Mm-hmm.
They do. You just start your auction what you're willing to start it at, what you're willing to lose money at. That's really it. If it gets one bid, be happy that it got one bid, and you can't hate the price that it ended at. That's the way I look at it. A lot of people do 99-cent auctions or even penny auctions. I'm not willing to do that because I'm not willing to sell anything for 99 cents. No. So just in case you misspell something or for some reason the buyers are just not seeing your auction that week, I'm not willing to do that. There's nothing wrong with people that do. Some people do very, very well with that. I'm just not. It's not my business model.
Yeah.
The other thing I picked up is these are just vintage 80s play school Raggedy Ann and Andy dolls in the box. These as a pair sell for about $50. They're from the 80s. They're nothing special, but they will sell for $50.
As a pair.
As a pair. Individually, $20 maybe, but together they're more valuable than apart. And then the other thing, which is kind of like my favorite item, but I have not tested it yet. She did say she doesn't think it's working. So I took it at the price, I paid $50 for a huge lot of stuff. You're only seeing some of it. If it's not working, it's probably worth about $30. It's the old phonograph. It's in the box. It's just the record player, suitcase record player. It's probably worth about $30 or so if it's not working. If it is working, I should be able to sell it for closer to $100 because it has the box. Mm-hmm. If it's not working, I may try and figure out how to make it work. It'd be worth it for me.
Or I might try to figure out how to make it work is what you're saying.
Maybe. So, okay. So that's what I have there.
Woo-woo! Derek Yamamoto's in the house.
Mm-hmm.
What's happening, Derek? Yeah, we had like at least one Raggedy Andy.
Oh my God. I had I was telling Katy this. I had the one that was life size. I think it's 36 inches. They still have them from the 70s. I wish I'd find those because they're still worth money. I used to take the clothes off of Raggedy Ann and put them on because they fit me.
That's weird.
I thought they were cute.
That's just weird. All right. Oh, good call. So du Page Piquer. Greg says usually the rubber belts dry out.
Yeah, that's usually what it is, something like that. So I'll see what works and what doesn't, and I'll maybe do a little trouble. Look up a few things on YouTube to see if I could figure out a repair, but I don't know what's wrong with it yet.
All right. Well, and like you said, your in-house IT person and anything electronic or mechanical person right here. I'm the one that will probably end up looking at that. Is it my turn?
Yeah.
All right. So guys, I went on Thursday. I didn't get a whole bunch of stuff. And let me tell you, for the first time in a long time, Buffalo was like kind of slim pickings. Like I only got 5 things there. Buffalo. I only got like 5 things there. But I got a few things. And the other day we were out after, what was it, Friday, I think. And we were out running some errands. And we did stop in at the old Deseret Industries. Now, Deseret, I think we said this before, they always have like a ton of t-shirts, but they really rarely come through with like good vintage t-shirts. But I have found that every time I go and look in their women's section and look at the t-shirts, which now I religiously look at in the women's t-shirts.
Now she's encroached in the women's section. Now
You're not even a big t-shirt. I highly doubt you go through all of those t-shirts at the thrift store. So anyway, but I go through quickly and I will look at the collars and stuff and see if any vintage stuff pops out. So I did get 2 different t-shirts. This one is Rockin' Robics Fitness Night. I was pretty excited about this one. It's the San Clemente Workout Health and Fitness Center's Rockin' Robics. And based on this tag, I would say, because the tag doesn't have, it says made in the USA. It doesn't actually have like a brand or anything on it, but this looks like it's probably 80s. Maybe it's early 90s. But I kind of like that t-shirt. It's pretty cool. And then this one, another one I got in the women's section. This is an 80s. Now the collar was cut out of it, but this is an 80s t-shirt. It's San Diego Zoo, 1987, 1988 giant panda. The collar was cut off of it, which, might bring the value down a little bit. I don't know. But it's a Hanes t-shirt. And really, probably vintage t-shirts are really cool right now. Oh, the collar's all cut off. Vintage is really in style right now. And there are a lot of women that are into wearing like the old vintage t-shirts tend to alter them anyway and like cut sleeves off and kind of mess with them. So there's a good chance that this could still sell for a decent price, and it's cool because it's like an 80s, nice little 80s one. And again, guys, for any of you that are trying to learn your vintage t-shirts, anytime you find a t-shirt that has a date on it, that is a magical way to learn tags. So now you know this tag at the very least was being used in the 80s. So bam, there you go.
Bam,
there you go.
And it's a panda.
Exactly. So then when I was out at Savers, they were doing, they had big thrift store day was on, National Thrift Store Day was on Saturday. So they were doing 99-cent t-shirts on Saturday, but on Thursday it was going to be from Thursday, until, Saturday or whatever. They were doing 50% off of like summer stuff. So all their t-shirts, all their short sleeve shirts, short sleeve activewear, shorts, swim trunks, stuff like that was all 50% off. So it was pretty cool because I got t-shirts for 50% off. Here's a vintage 90s t-shirt. And I was going to show this because the striping like this is super, super 90s. And I actually really like these ones where the sleeve is, you're supposed to like roll it up and then you've got this
so 90s
two-tone thing going on. I actually haven't looked this up, so maybe somebody in the chat.
This is every tool bag I went to high school with wore a shirt like
this. So rude. Somebody should look this up
I was the rocker chick making fun of them.
I don't know what this stands for, but it has like a little jet on it. IASCO. I haven't looked this up yet, but you can see the little jet on it. So I'm wondering if it's some sort of company that works in the, I don't know, in
aerospace.
Yeah, something like that.
Technology.
So somebody look that up real quick. Let us know, what is IASCO? Because that was part of the reason why I picked this up. It wasn't just the style. It was also because anything kind of military flight, kind of that kind of stuff related, usually sells pretty well. So let me know, guys.
Right, Greg, if it were hypercolor, I have yet to find a hypercolor shirt in the wild. I don't think they actually survived. Remember after you washed them a bunch, they would stop working?
So I actually, I follow like different Facebook
flight
groups.
Training, someone said. Lots of people.
Oh, okay. It's flight training school. So I actually follow like different Facebook groups and stuff like that to learn different, just to gain more knowledge and whatnot. But I'm also on Reddit, and there's a subreddit that's just called Vintage Tees. And there was somebody who just recently found a short sleeve hypercolor t-shirt, new with tags, dead stock. And it's beautiful.
I've just never found one in the wild.
And I was like, oh,
so
man.
Weird.
Yeah, I'm like, totally want to get it.
Shamrock Pixie in the house. Hello, hello. How are you feeling? I haven't seen you in a while. I wondered how you're feeling.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, Cheryl says, let me go ahead and, it hasn't popped up on this yet, but there it is. Cheryl says, I was channeling Katy, picked up 2 1994 t-shirts this week with an eagle on the front. Minty fresh.
Woohoo!
Minty fresh, probably crispy. 2 XLs, which is a good size. So good job. Look at Cheryl's little head there.
I know. She's so cute. I love her little headshot.
Very, very cute.
Oh, that's who I met today, Randy. Great meeting you today at Savers. So Randy's the gentleman I met today.
Hi, Randy.
Okay, so I've talked about you earlier, Randy. I couldn't remember your first name. I'm sorry. I'm terrible with names until I've met you a couple of times and it sticks in my head. All right, my turn?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so speaking of the whole Raggedy Ann thing, right? So I picked this up today at Savers.
I'm like, haven't you had enough?
I know, right? So I paid like $1.50 for it. And it is one of those that is handmade. So somebody just asked, are the handmade ones worth money as well? It has a little tag on it that said it was lovingly made by hand by someone named Vikki Davis. And then it's got an autographed butt. I have not looked this up yet. Vikki Davis might actually be a type of collectible doll maker. I'm not sure. There are many. And God knows I don't know them all. So I haven't looked it up at all. Or just this could be somebody's grandma that just made it. It doesn't matter. Either way, just like this is still going to be worth, probably $30, $35, whatever. Mm-hmm. It's a well-made, handmade one.
Yeah, really cool. Going back to the hypercolor, this is the post I saw. Let's see if I can get it in there. Hypercolor. Look at this. Somebody found, it's a single stitch, new with tags. That looks like a Savers tag, the price tag on there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, hypercolor. When I was a kid, I remember because these were really big, like early 90s. And what? Well, because we were talking just
you're interrupting me again.
Just in between your 2 items, because they were talking about hypercolor. Because it was just funny because we're always talking about how we've never found these. And we don't believe they exist. And I was so excited that somebody found one. But yeah, somebody in the chat asked. They are the ones where you touch them with your hand, and the heat of your hand would leave like a handprint.
Yes, exactly. So good. Destiny, thank you. She says she's doing better. Scar is disappointing. Yeah, scars do that. Look into bio oil or Mederma and rubbing it on the scar. It has a lot of vitamin D and it'll help fade the scar. Mm-hmm. But yes, Katy knows all about scars. Mm-hmm. And we're doing okay. Mm-hmm. Thanks for asking. I'm glad you're doing better. So I picked up a few things, but I did pick up this vintage 90s Polo Jeans Company sweater, and it's just a nice zip sweater with like the thick ribbed sleeves. It was like $7, and I'll probably sell this. This is a good size. I think it's a large. Yeah, it's a large men's. It's not super old or super exciting, but I'll probably still sell it for a good $50-$60. It's a classic, it's a classic.
Well, and it's nice because it has like the subtle, just the RL.
Yeah.
So even though it's, you said it was the Polo Jeans
Polo Jeans Company.
But it's kind of nice because it just says RL. It doesn't say the Polo Jeans. So I think it'll sell well.
Yeah. So I think it's one it was still, for $7 into $50, I'm cool with that. Mm-hmm. So let's see. I picked up this you know, we've talked about this brand before, this 511 Tactical. It's clothing. It's a clothing line. It's kind of like military, police gear, people that like to carry guns in general. It holds a lot of people that, you know, conceal carry and stuff like that. So a lot of military and police buy their gear there. But this is a pair of shoes by that company. So they're just like these suede slip-on like loafers. I paid $5 at Deseret, and they're new.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Look at the bottoms.
They're brand new.
They're slick.
So I would probably, you know, throw these up for about 55 or 60 bucks. Paid $5. Not bad.
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby. I also picked these up at Deseret. These are small. I wish
so
they
cute.
were. They're super cute. There's only one pair for sale, and there is one pair that's sold, and they sold very cheaply, unfortunately. These are vintage. These are vintage 80s or 90s, and they are Reeboks. Look at these bowling high tops, and they have these little bowling ball and bowling pin little doohickey on their thing.
They're so cute.
They're women's size 7. You know, I just think they're so stinking cute. But they're not. I paid $10 for them, so I did pay up a little bit for them. But they're in really good shape. I don't think I'm going to be able to do much about the yellowing on the soles, but it's not too bad.
Yeah.
I'd like to get maybe, I'm going to list them for somewhere around $100 or so. I'm not sure what I'll get for them, but I think they're super cute.
Well, because I was done looking at the men's stuff, I was tasked with looking those up for her. And here's the thing. If you look up those shoes on eBay and you look at solds, there's one that sold in the last 90 days for $40, like $39.99. But if you go look at Terapeak and you actually look at the last 12 months, there's a pair that sold for, I believe, like 80 something dollars plus shipping, and another pair that sold for like 70 something plus shipping.
So I think I can get $100 for them. It's just that they're small. Like a size 7 women's is not, you know, slightly small, but they are women's. I mean, so I can't picture a man would want them. So I think they're pretty cute. They're made in Korea. So, I mean, I'd actually do a little more research and probably do a little Googling and figure out what year they're from and when they were made or what they were called or if they were a collab or something. But as of now, I don't know any of that.
So Erin Austin has a good tip that you should maybe try out. Oven cleaner can remove yellowing, especially on plastic. Worth doing a test spot, and the Dollar Tree has it. So
I actually have the Dollar Tree oven cleaner, Erin.
Yeah,
so
you should totally test that out.
I will test that out and let you know.
Mm-hmm.
Randy asks, do we source from Plato's Closet? The answer is here, because you live here. The Plato's Closet here sucks, in my opinion. The ones that I've been to here, there's a lot of like H&M and Abercrombie and like Hollister and that kind of stuff. It's a great place to go if you're buying clothing for your teenager and you want to buy those mall brands, or they want to buy those mall brands and you don't want to pay full retail. But buying for resale there, no. Not worth going in. If you're going to find one or two things, you'll be lucky.
The clothing, it's not worth it. If you like to flip shoes, then I would say go ahead and check that out. So for sure. So, because they do get good shoes there sometimes.
Yeah. So Erin, thank you very much. I'm definitely going to try that. So, okay. So another pair of shoes. I picked these up today. They were only $10. So these are the Pharrell Adidas Stan Smith Pharrell collaboration, and they're used. They're just super cute, right? You know, Pharrell happy. I mean, they make me look happy. That's not
huge.
what they're freaking huge. That's the other thing. So they're a size 14 men's. So these will probably sell for, and again, I paid about $11. These will probably sell for like 50 or 60 bucks. These I will clean up a little bit, the soles, again, the white of the soles. People talk about the shoe prep. I've talked about the shoe prep. I don't do a lot of shoe prep. These are leather. And I will just clean up the whites of these.
Yeah, because this one's definitely worth it. I mean,
they're worth doing it. It's a good price. I might get a little more because of the size. But it's the Pharrell collab. The fact that they only priced them for $11 at Savers means they didn't know what they were, or they thought they were fakes or something, because lately the whole Nike, Adidas, they've been pricing them at like $20, $30 for used beat to crap shoes. So I feel pretty fortunate to have gotten those at that price. The polka dot shoes are Adidas Originals.
Yeah.
They do look like clown shoes, Grandma.
They do kind of, especially because of the size, because they're so big. All right. So is it my turn?
Yeah.
I got some more t-shirts. Big surprise, guys.
Shocked.
So this is another, vintage tech, technology t-shirts does really well. I don't really know. I haven't done any research on this t-shirt yet, but it says on the front ITR, and that stands for Information Technology Resources. And this is actually their second annual picnic.
Ooh,
and you can see
shirt.
Yeah. And you can see on the back, it's got like this computer. And then, so this is from 1995. So again, guys, this is a great opportunity for you to learn tags. You see this t-shirt, it says 1995 on it. And then you check out the tag. And this is kind of a funky looking tag because I've seen this tag before plenty of times. It's Fruit of the Loom. But this is what one of their 90s tags looks like. But this one's like really big for some reason. It's like a really fat one.
That is a big fat tag.
But this tag right here. So now you know.
Are you size shaming the tag?
I am. I'm a sizist. But this tag right here, that is a 90s Fruit of the Loom t-shirt tag. Anyway, this one, again, I don't really know anything about it, but I'll probably price it at like $47.99. Try to get $47.99 out of it. Little vintage tech. It's in crispy condition, nice and new.
It is crispy,
very
unwashed
crispy.
for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, next one. This is one of my t-shirts I got at the Buffalo Exchange, and it's a nice soft t-shirt. But I paid $10 for this. And this says, police officers give more than just traffic tickets. And there's a couple of reasons I got this. First of all, the police thing I think is cool, but also because it specifically is for Austin police. So this is Austin, Texas. And Austin is like, one of those
well, the black
beloved
band,
cities.
That's that's like to commemorate a fallen officer. So
yeah. And so it's just a really cool t-shirt. And then the tag on it is the Screen Stars tag.
That's a good shirt.
Yeah, it's a great shirt. So that's an 80s t-shirt right there. And so $10, that actually is like cheaper than like a lot of the times what they price their t-shirts at. So actually this is a really cool t-shirt. This one I'll probably price up quite a bit. I might price it to get like $70 out of it. We'll see what comes of it, but it's just a really cool t-shirt. And then this is a sweatshirt that I picked up at Buffalo. I'm actually pretty excited about this one. This one I paid $16 for. I did take in some stuff to trade, so I didn't actually pay $16 out of pocket. But I probably paid about maybe like $12 for this. This is a New Orleans Saints sweatshirt. And what I like about this is for any of you guys that go out and do a lot of sourcing, there's certain teams that you're going to see lots of stuff. And depending on like where you are in the country, like, if you're in Oregon, you're going to see like Portland Trailblazers everywhere. Here in Vegas, we see like a lot of
Denver Broncos in San Francisco.
Yes, a lot of San Francisco,
Chargers,
a lot of Denver,
yeah.
That kind of stuff. I never find anything Saints related, and I actually do really like the Saints. I'm not like a big sportsing person, but I was following them a bit, especially like the couple of years prior to when they've won the Super Bowl, and then during the Super Bowl. So it's just kind of a cool sweatshirt. So I'm pretty excited about it. And they have a diehard fan base. So I haven't done any research on this to see like what Saints sweatshirts go for, but this is a nice 90s one. And this, as I've said before, the Russell Athletic made in the USA, that is a 90s tag right there.
I'd say it's a $60 sweatshirt.
Yeah,
right?
Probably. It's a really nice one.
I have like 4 or 5 more things total. So just to.
Okay. I'll show one more t-shirt that I got. I got this. I only paid $8 for this, which only $8 for a used t-shirt, but it was at Buffalo. They only paid $8. And I think it's because it's like so faded. But I actually like this faded, and I thought I would take a chance, and I'm going to try to pick up some paint thinner because I've had times before when I don't know if anyone's ever tried using paint thinner on clothing, but I'm going to try it and see what happens. And maybe somebody in the chat, if you have ever tried that before, because occasionally you'll come across like pants or shirts that have paint on them, and maybe you want to try and get them off. But I think this is actually a pretty cool shirt. This is it is
a really cool shirt. It's got like the tiger in it.
Yeah, it's
Sonny
Mackinac.
says that won't work.
Well, I can still try. I don't know. Anyway, but it's super worn, and maybe I'll just sell it as is, like all beat up. But it's got like the awesome, like the mountains and the cat there, and like the lightning, and it's just kind of a cool shirt. So maybe I'll just sell it as like a total beater, roached out t-shirt. But I think it's pretty awesome. Super, super faded. I won't get the smell out of the thinner. Well, I figured I would do it first and then like use like some of my cleaning stuff, but I don't know.
It's possible.
It's worth trying. It's worth trying.
Who
All right,
knows?
go ahead.
Kara asked, we have the deer. We still have, what did we name him? I forgot. Started with an A.
Oh, he's hanging up right over here. So
he's hanging up. You can't see him because he's in front of us, not in back of us, but he's still here. Archibald. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The deer is not in the rock room any longer. The deer is on the wall in the loft.
Yeah. He's looking at me right now.
Uh-huh. So here's, okay, so I've got like 2 more articles of clothing that I picked up. Nothing too fantastic, but again, I only paid like $6.50 for this. This is just I have not even looked it up to tell you honestly what it is. So it's $7.99 plus I had 20% off. So I don't even know what this sells for, to be fair, but it's a vintage Ducks Unlimited, kind of like a Harrington jacket.
Mm-hmm.
So a men's Harrington jacket. It's a lightweight. It's khaki. And it's got like it's got to be 90s. I didn't even check to see where it was made. Made in Korea. Yeah. So 90s with the plaid inner. I'm thinking I'm going to sell it for like 40 or 50 bucks. It might be more. I have not looked up. Some Ducks Unlimited stuff sells really well and some doesn't. Again, I just bought it like 2 hours ago. So I
don't know.
I have no research put into it whatsoever. And then the other one, if Rick Dorn happens to be watching, or if he does watch later, Rick would appreciate this one, I think. So this is a made in the UK, Werther's original, and not the candy.
Werther's original.
Gross. So it's just like a overcoat, like a car coat, and it has this zip out wool, like houndstooth lining. It's really, really well made. So I paid up for it a little bit. I paid about $13, but the ones that have sold are selling mostly overseas. You can tell it's made in the UK for around $80 to $100. So Grandma asked, what is a Harrington jacket? So a Harrington jacket, I actually threw it already. It's a short jacket. It's almost like a cloth. Think of it as it's like a full zip, unlined usually, or very lightly lined. It's almost like a bomber jacket made out of cloth.
Yeah. Do a search on eBay and you'll see a whole bunch of them. Robbie Robitussin in the chat. My buddy Robbie. Good to see you. Good to see you. He's making fun of the Archibald eyeballing us.
Are you eyeballing me, Archibald?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty
much.
Right,
so I have 2 more items, again, picked up today. This is a vintage. This was 50% off, so this was only $3. This is a vintage, made in the USA, kind of like a beach blanket. So it's this polyester. I don't know if anybody's ever, you don't really want to put it on a bed because it's super scratchy.
Thick and scratchy, yeah.
But it's like this polyester. It's got just these really bright, fun colors. It's got like seashells and flamingos.
That's awesome.
Anyway, made in the USA, vintage. It's new. It's like super crunchy and everything. So I will probably sell this for like $40 to $50. There've been a couple that have sold with really bad photos and keywords. They've sold it in like 20 or 30, and there's only 2 that I were able to find. It's not even a brand name. It's like nothing special.
Nothing special.
But these I really liked. So, you guys, this is the iconic Polo bear, right? Polo Ralph Lauren bear. These are vintage, made in the USA sheets, but they're only the top sheet. I have 2 sheets here. I paid $5 for both of them. Got these today at Savers. They are a king size flat sheet and a queen size flat sheet. I can probably sell each for about $40.
People repurpose them a lot. I've seen in some of the vintage streetwear groups that I'm in, I've seen some of the guys make themselves shorts out of them. Or curtains, but definitely shorts. That's been kind of like the thing lately is turning sheets. Somebody else did that with a set of Goosebumps sheets. They made themselves some shorts.
I saw those. Those are really cool.
Yeah. So that kind of stuff, it's fine that it's not like a full set or anything like that. And actually the flat sheets are great because it's a nice big piece
and
of
fabric. They're new. They're super crisp and crunchy, and the factory folds are still in them.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you end up with 2 different, flat sheets without the fitted sheets, without the pillowcases, because I did look with the Polo Bears, but they're worth it for the price. So Kara asked if the blanket with the flamingos, not Lily Pulitzer, but is very Lily Pulitzer-esque as far as the coloring and stuff like that. But it's not a brand name like that. It's just like probably a super cheap blanket or beach blanket or something. Made in the USA though.
Yep. Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Are you done?
I'm done. I'm done.
All right. So I just got a handful of things real quick here. So this is another Buffalo Exchange. I paid $13 for this. This t-shirt I think is actually super awesome, and it's pretty crispy. I don't know that it's got a little bit of a little spot on it, but that looks very washable. But this is a Field of Dreams. I like that. 1989. It says Home of Field of Dreams.
Crispy.
And it says Dyersville, Iowa. And it actually does have, so you can see there's like a little bit of a smudge there, but it really looks like that would easily wash out.
I think that had the sticker on it or something.
But I think that'll easily wash out, so I'm not too worried about that. But you can see it's got the trademark stuff on it. It says 1989 Universal City Studios. So this is like a legit 1989.
That's awesome.
Hanes t-shirt. So I paid $13 for it. I think I should get a good price out of that. I mean, it's just a really cool t-shirt. I like the graphic on it. So yeah, it looks like it's pretty brand new other than that.
I love that movie.
Dirt spot. So
who doesn't love that movie, right?
It's a good movie. Mm-hmm. It's a good movie. Let's see.
Yvette Anderson said she lives in Iowa and I have a Field of Dreams t-shirt.
Hey, nice. And then I always pick these up. She thinks I'm weird that I pick these up, and I don't know. This one's from 1999, so maybe it won't sell. But this is like somebody's family reunion t-shirt. King Family Reunion, 1999. But I just thought I thought it looked cool. I like the.
Well, I think it's maybe because the last name is King that you could actually make that work, and it's got the World Trade Center in it.
I like the graphic.
It has the Twin Towers.
Yeah, and it's like they have like it says heading toward the millennium. So it's just. I just think it's actually kind of a cool shirt. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, get in that Field of Dreams thing. Amanda says, my husband just told me the other day 2 major league teams are going to play on the Field of Dreams this year.
Ooh, very cool.
And Allison.
Deb, she sells resale. Kicking myself for tossing my League of Their Own t-shirt jersey years ago. What?
Ooh. What? I'll kick you too.
Yeah. Oh, that's not very nice.
That's bad.
Yeah. All right, 2 more things real quick.
Allison is being rude to me again.
Oh, Allison.
If that movie was in my fridge, I'd throw it away.
All right. I did actually grab a couple of jackets. It's not jacket season here in Vegas. I am looking forward to over the next few weeks, they'll slowly start bringing out more jackets. There
were a lot of them today, actually. And there were some marginal ones that I probably would have picked up if I had, 30% off or more, because they just had them super high price. There just wasn't a lot of room.
Yeah.
They had like 3 or 4 of those satin police jacks, like Tuffy Jack jackets, but they priced them at like $30.
Oh, no.
I can only sell them for $60. Come off it.
No. Come off it, man. All right. So I have this awesome satin bomber jacket, and it says Pride Petroleum Services Safety Recognition.
Oh, jeez.
But what I really like about it is the back has like the little truck or whatever. I don't know what's going on with this, but anyway, I've sold jackets like this before, and they usually do pretty well. I should be able to get like $50 out of this, I think. It's just a cool vintage, probably 80s, 90s West Arc jacket. Cool. And the last
is your last thing?
Yeah, this is my last thing. I haven't looked this up at all, but look at this. Nice and orange. Yeah, it's real orange.
Well, just ready, just about time to head into fall.
This is a
hunting season.
Winchester brand hunting jacket. It's like
look at how weird the color looks on the monitor.
I know.
It's neon orange, just so you guys know.
It's a hunting jacket, hunting field jacket. It's got all the nice pockets and whatnot. And it is Winchester brand. I have no idea what these sell for. But there's the Winchester brand. It was $14.99, but of course I got it for 25% off. It's got like a hood that detaches, and it's lined. I'm guessing it's probably waterproof.
Yeah,
because it is. Because it is lined with like the nylon kind of material. So it feels like it's probably like a good rain jacket to wear out hunting. Out hunting. But it's nice bright orange. Again, no idea what it sells for, but I would
certainly sells for more than what you paid for it.
Oh yeah. I would imagine it probably does pretty well. Made in Korea. I think this is probably like a 90s Winchester vintage hunting jacket.
So Brenda, Merkel, as well as Allison both said that the thing on the back of that satin jacket is a drilling rig, an oil drilling rig. That's what I thought it was too. Brenda said that's a workover or service rig used in the oil fields.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, that stuff always sells. The ones that have like those kind of rigs on the back of them. I just sold one recently for something else.
Destiny says, we see orange everywhere we live, hunters everywhere. There's not a lot of hunting in the desert. So, there's no trees to hide behind. There's no place to put a tree stand. There's not a lot of deer, there's not that kind of hunting here. So we don't find a lot of it out here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Just a little further west, sure. Just a little further east, sure. But right here, there's no hunting happening in the valley.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that's it. That's it for our haul.
That's it. We did it in an hour and a half. What? Under an hour and a half.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't have.
So we had a little over 180 people watching live, which is good for us on a Sunday afternoon. And we only have 58 thumbs up out of 180. 1/3 of you.
What?
Get to get.
You know why?
People.
Because they're too busy watching the show and having a good time. They can't be messing around with thumbs and up things.
Thumbs and
up. Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah, I grew up with hunting. I mean, I'm from the East Coast, Destiny. So Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts. Yeah. There's a lot of hunting going on.
And I'm from the Pacific Northwest. So and I came from a small farming town. There's only 2,000 people in the town of Sublimity. Although now I think they're moving towards 3,000. It's like a farming community and lots of people that go hunting. Like everybody wears camouflage, just run a regular basis and likes to go hunting.
My first husband, I think, only owned army fatigues and orange camouflage everything. So, yeah. Allison says,
I don't know. I saw a lot of cougars in Las Vegas.
There's a lot of mirrors in Las Vegas. Yeah, Allison, a lot of mirrors.
That's pretty funny. Anyway, speaking of cougars, like real cougars, the cats, we actually in Oregon, where I lived just before I moved here, I lived in Silverton, which is like a town bigger than Sublimity. Sublimity's like 2,000, close to 3,000 people now. It's where my parents live, where I grew up. And then about 15 miles north or 15 minutes north of that is Silverton, and it's a town of 10,000. But I was kind of like right on the edge of town. And so there were every day there would be deer coming through my yard. And I never saw any cougars, but there were actually cougars like up in the hills and stuff. And
we didn't see any cougars either.
Cougars. It was an issue. I saw bobcat once.
I have been duck, quail, pheasant, dove, deer, hunting in my life. Hunting. I have done all of the above.
I've never gone hunting. I wouldn't be able to do it, but
I've gone hunting. I have never
fishing.
shot anything. I have gone. And I, I've shot the guns, but I've never like actually killed an animal. I have.
Yeah, pretty much.
I've been fishing. I've been fly fishing, bass fishing.
Yeah. Well, now
saltwater fishing.
And now that our buddy Lou has moved to town from Rhode Island, he has a lot of guns and he likes guns. And so we're probably going to go do some shooting sometime.
Like at the range.
Yeah.
Like, not of animals or things. Or
no. The only time I've only ever shot a gun one time, and it was a shotgun, and it was in Cambodia. I was there for a habitat build, and we went, myself and a couple other guys went, and because we were riding, they call it a tuk-tuk, and it's the kind of like their taxi there. And they basically, it's like a motorbike, and it's got like a little thing that pulls behind it that you sit in. And it's the tuk-tuk, and they have advertising and stuff on them. And the one we were in, it had this advertisement for this gun range. And so we went to the gun range, and let me tell you, it made me a little nervous. You didn't have to fill out any paperwork at all. You just give them your cash. They give you a gun, and then you go shoot it. And if you had like $300, you could actually shoot a bazooka into the side of a mountain, which I thought was pretty cool.
You could do that here.
I'm sure you could.
There's lots of places you can.
I think it might cost a little more, and I think you might actually have to sign a little bit more as far as
probably
waivers go.
Some more paperwork.
There were no waivers. There was like nothing. It was just like, here's your gun with live ammunition. Why don't you start shooting? But anyway,
Cheryl, I don't know why hubby was impressed. I knew about tree stands. Listen, I used to know all about all that stuff. Tree stands and the decoys and the duck calls and the deer pee that you put on.
I was gonna say,
and all
did you
that.
rub deer urine behind your ears?
Not on my body, but on the clothing, the hunting clothing. Yes. Make sure you don't take a shower. Make sure you don't have all your perfume and your lotions on.
Yeah.
Yes, I've done it all. So, yeah, my first husband was a redneck.
Yeehaw! All right, guys. Thanks again for coming and watching the show. Remember, Wednesday, we have our Boss Up and List live show that we do every week at 11 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And this week, we actually have guests. We're going to have the ladies from List Perfectly on. So if you haven't had a chance to see them on anybody else's show, they've been on a few. Or if you just want to see it again.
And you want to and you want to catch up and you want to watch it and you want to even follow along. If you happen to have two screens, this is something that would be really good for you to be able to follow along. They do have a couple of demos. Check out their website a little bit first. Get yourself signed up on the wait list. Even if you're not sure if you want to use the program, sign up for the wait list. It doesn't cost you anything because right now they're getting inundated because the program is really that good. And as we said before, and as I've said before, so we don't do affiliate links. We don't do a ton of affiliate links. We have, we actually have the products that we actually use.
We do affiliate links
listed below
for the stuff that we use. Yes.
Correct. We don't do them just for the sake of doing them. And I can't say that for everybody. No disrespect to anybody that does that, get your money, but we don't do that. So we're very much about being transparent and authentic. And a lot of the things that we talk about, we could have had List Perfectly on first because Teresa has been working with them since they started. And the only reason we didn't was because I hadn't used it yet. And it's not something that Katy is probably going to use. So we wanted to make sure that, we wanted to make sure that we were talking from an authentic position, that we actually use the program, that we do endorse it, that we do believe in it. And I knew it was good when I first saw it 6 months ago. I was just waiting for it to get to the point that it is now. And I'm super excited about it. And
Allison wanted to just point out the trial period is 3 days now, not 7 for everybody's information. But I will say that as long as you, I haven't used it, but I know that the first day Vikki was using it, she was really super excited about it. So within the first 2 days, she was getting something out of it. But it is something to note that if you do try to sign up for it, you want to make sure that you hop right on it and try it out. Don't wait because you only have 3 days before you're going to have to pay for it. But anyway, all right, we're going to go ahead and end the show. So please join us on Wednesday. And thanks again for hanging out with us for our Sunday live haul. It's always fun. And if you're not in the Boss Facebook group, please come on over and hang out with us. We always have good stuff going on there, especially now that Barbara's doing her daily M&M money and motivation post every morning. They've been super awesome.
Thread. They've all been really good. At some point, I'm sure the poor thing's going to burn out and run out of good information to put up there. But hey, as long as you can come up with a great one every day, Barbara, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's such a great daily post that she does. And every day she's coming up with something different. And it really has, it's really bringing about some great conversations.
Absolutely.
I've noticed those posts the threads have been super active because people are loving it. So if you want to get a kick in your pants for your business, I think the Boss Group is definitely the place to go. Anyway, thanks again, guys. We really appreciate it. Bye.
Bye.
I don't know what that was.